Welcome, my friends, to another edition of Real Talk with Raleigh Keegan. And today, my name is Raleigh Keegan, just like every other day. But today, unlike every other day, we're going to talk about how to write a song, and more specifically, how I write a song. I get that question quite often. And I think it's very interesting because every person has different processes, and I have different processes from day to day, really. But I'm going to talk about some of those processes, but also the main way that I would write a song with people in Nashville, with co-writers. But so some of the different ways you might do it is, okay, there's the top-down kind of method where you just literally start at the top. Maybe you have chords, maybe you have a chord, and you just start singing like a melody. You just go, da-da-da, with the chords. And you start coming up with lyrics from the top down, and you don't have what's called a hook yet. A hook would be like the whole premise of your song. And oftentimes in Nashville, we start with whatever the hook's going to be and write around the hook and to the hook. But apparently, back in the day, prior to me being in Nashville, and we still do it some now, but people go top down, and we might have a top line, and we just keep going, and we don't know where the song's going to go, and we just kind of take it, which is really interesting. That's an interesting way to do it. In fact, we did that the other day, and it ended up being really cool. So, yeah, but the other way in Nashville to do it would be sometimes you just start with like a drum loop and maybe some like instrumental thing, which is very common nowadays with the way songs are being produced. But, okay, the way that, there's other ways too. However, these are just kind of some of the main ways. I'm going to talk about the main way that I would do it, that we do it in Nashville with my co-writers. And so basically, a lot of people, including myself, have what's called like a hook book. Did I delete all of them? Oh, thank God I didn't. Maybe you can keep some of that, because I almost thought that I just deleted every song title that I ever thought of in all my songs. I almost just deleted all of my songs in real time with Real Talk in Raleigh. Okay. But okay, let me give you an example. So I'm going through my hook book that most people have in Nashville. So a good example of that, of finding the hook first. Okay, I had in my hook book here, I had a song called The Cover. I had this title right here called The Cover. Okay, and in parentheses it has, "Baby, you look past the cover," and I kind of put ... book references. So I had this idea of, when someone looks at you, everyone gives first impressions. They don't really see past what they see, even on Instagram, the things that we present to people. And I think every person is looking for the love that when someone sees past their cover, quote unquote, that they're still loved. I think every person wants to be fully known and fully loved. That's your sermon for the day. But, okay, so the song The Cover. So we started with that, and I was, this is really funny how I came up with this guitar part, but the guitar part for the cover, I was doing a live video on Facebook, I think, and in between songs I was just messing around, and I came up with that line for the cover, which is kind of cool. But yeah, so that song kind of started out with that idea, and so we had the hook, "Baby, you look past the cover," and all the and the idea of the song was there, and I had that guitar part. So we started kind of filling in. So we do-da-da-da. And my friend Autumn McIntyre, who I wrote that with, she started going, "Little rough around the edges," and I was like, I like that, because like books are like that too, and it kind of writes to the hook. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get me? Do you get me, people? So that's kind of how that starts, and then we, like with that song, we were like, we really got to nail home the idea that the girl is looking at me like I'm the book and looking past the cover. So that was a little tricky to do, but thankfully we got there, and I love that song. So that's an example of how I would write a song, but there's definitely other ways too. I mean, sometimes I just start with a piano part. Sometimes I just start with a guitar part. Sometimes I just start with a melody. This song, I woke up in the middle of the night. I wrote this song with Rick Huckabee, but I woke up in the middle of the night and I was singing, "Nobody does you like you do," and I like recorded it in my voice memos at like 4 a.m. and so that became a song, and so it happened so many different ways. So thanks for the question, and this has been another episode of Real Talk with Raleigh Keegan, talking about songs. Can't wait for the next one. I'll talk to y'all soon.